Hi, my name is Annelies West, and I am the Director of Marketing for NDB Motors. And I would just like to thank you personally for taking the time. I know as Senior VP that you have a lot on your plate, but I just want to take 1 second to thank you for taking the time to hear about the 2022 revival of Brawny. Now, Brawny was huge back in the day, 2020 or 2010, excuse me, and before were huge for the company and the car. It sold so many cars that they had to create a separate dealership just for said car, which doesn't happen nowadays. We don't really hear about, a Chevrolet car becoming itself. Like now, we have Brawny, and we are going to bring it into NDB Motors and create it kind of the ideal version of it. Back in the day, it was large, and that was one of its great features, but it also came with a lot of issues, such as their safety issues, their airbags, and their low gas. It was not economy friendly at all. It was 10 miles per gallon in the city, and that is just ridiculous. We can't have it like that today. It's just not going to work with all the competitors out there. One of the big similarities that we have with our new 2022 revival of the Brawny is its size. It is still large. Don't get me wrong, that was one of the appeals, but now we want to focus it towards families and large families. So we're offering third row seating. It has tons of room for your children and all of their friends. You can take them everywhere as a mother or a father or whatever you may be. The difference is that it is a lot safer. It has airbags basically everywhere you could possibly put an airbag safely. It has stability control, which is one of the huge issues in the original model. It did not have said stability control. Now it does. It also has a four-wheel drive option, which means that when it's snowy, we know that we have nationwide drivers. We know that some of them are up north and the weather is absolutely horrible up there during the wintertime. We have four-wheel drive for those who need it. It is optional though. So if you don't want it, you press a button and it turns off. It is a fantastic feature because not everyone wants to drive four-wheel drive. Not everyone needs to drive four-wheel drive all the time. It's amazing, and I personally love the feature. And it is now all electric. That is a huge difference. It is so much better for the environment, for your economy, for your wallet. It is so much better. I cannot stress that enough. It no longer takes that 10 miles per gallon in the city. It is now electric and goes a lot further with a lot less. Essentially, it would be like taking around 22 miles per gallon if you're thinking in kind of gas ways almost, which a lot of us are programmed to do. It's about 22 miles per gallon in the city and then 25 on the highway. So it is a lot better. It is better than a lot of trucks get nowadays. So if you're buying a truck, then you can easily buy this kind of thing. And it has almost the same strength as a truck. It can still pull that large weight, that large trailer behind you. It has enough power to do so and fit your whole family inside. Not only that, one more huge thing that I personally love is the heated seats, the cooled seats, the heated steering wheel, and the cooled steering wheel. Now, the heating steering wheel allows you to not feel like your fingers are just numb driving on the steering wheel as it is 10 degrees outside. It allows you to actually warm up and feel comfortable. It allows you to have that kind of peace of mind that you are not going to drive wacky because you cannot even feel your hands. You don't have to worry about that anymore with this car. Circling back to who we want to kind of cater this towards is the big families. And one of the biggest retail stores that I think of when I think of big families is Costco. Costco sells in bulk. You can buy a huge box of Cheez-Its, which you cannot buy anywhere else, a huge thing of goldfish, a huge thing of basically anything. I know they have jars of pickles this big. Can't even, my face is smaller than that. It is ridiculous how large their quantities are. But they are geared towards large families. So having our car positioned in a way that people, once they walk in, you know how once you walk into any Costco, there's usually a car advertised right there as you're walking in and about to show them your car. Right there would be perfect for where the Brawny 2022 would be. That way, families could see it as they enter. They come in with their 6 kids and they point at it and they're like, that is a large car. That has a lot of room for us. And they're getting out of their small car where they're jam packed, probably not even safely. They may not even all have seat belts. I cannot stress how unfortunate it is that some families cannot afford to upgrade to a car to accommodate all of their children. Not everyone can afford that, but we're making this car a lot more economy friendly for your wallets. It saves you money on gas, but it's also saving you money in the beginning. Its pricing is a lot lower than a lot of other big suburban type cars. It is not in the 50,000s like a lot of cars are. Nowadays, it's down in the 30s. So you know it's still safe and it's still good quality and it's still all American made. But it's a little bit cheaper because of how we have arranged certain aspects of the car. Another huge thing is commercials. I want to preach that commercials don't be on children's channels. I've seen that a lot of times. You know, a kid sitting watching SpongeBob, they're 6 years old, they're not going to know what NDB motors are. They're not going to know what a 2022 Brawny is. They're not going to know what four-wheel drive is. They just don't know. So they can't go tell their parents, hey, I want this car. Even if they did, the parents are just going to look at them kind of like, no, thank you. But if they see it on their shows, on their more adult-geared shows that are TVPG, TV 14, TVMA, those types of channels and shows are a lot better to put our commercials on them. And we want real customers speaking on our commercials. We don't want paid actors who are just going to spill whatever line we tell them to. We want people's real voices. We want their real opinions. We want the real facts. And we want it to be realistic. We don't want someone who's living in a huge mansion. That doesn't represent enough of us. That represents the 1%. That's just the way it is. We want someone in an average size home, average size family, or bigger, because this is for big families. They can have 2 to 8 children, to 10 children. It doesn't matter how big the family is. But we do want it a little bit larger. That's what we would want in the commercial, at least. Now, it would be really important that they speak on what they believe is the best aspects. We don't want to just tell them what to say. We want them to have their opinions. That makes it a lot more realistic. Also, with family cars, word of mouth advertising does so much for companies. I cannot stress enough how much a mother telling another mother what car she has does for us. Let's say they're just having one of those mommy meetups. You've seen them all the time at the park. They bring all their children, they have a little picnic, the moms sit, the kids go play. It's peaceful, it's amazing. But they always talk, and they always talk about what's going on in their lives. Say a mother mentions how much she hates a car, how much is disgusted by it. Those mothers aren't going to go buy that car then. Absolutely not. But if a mother is sitting there telling them how much she loves this new 2022 Brawny, they're going to say to themselves, I'm going to look into that. They end up at the dealership. Next thing you know, they're going home with the same car. It does so much for our company to have that word of mouth advertising, that realistic commercial, and that Costco kind of endorsement of large companies. It is amazing what this can do, and I believe that it is the best path for our company to focus on the safety, our environment being environmentally friendly, and the pockets of our consumers. We cannot just charge outrageous prices because that's not how you do business. I understand that we have to make a profit, but we can't do so if we don't cater to the middle class. The middle class is who we need to cater to. We need large middle class families. That's what we need, and that's who we need to kind of cater our things towards. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen and understand my thoughts and my team's opinions on this upcoming 2022 revival. I hope to be hearing back from you soon. Have a wonderful day.